Hi, I am back. I'm going to talk about the California drought. I can get pretty long-winded sometimes and get off track, but I'm going to try to stay on target. I am a writer, and I'm shy, but I guess when I start talking about things that really interest me, I can go and go and go. California drought. Governor Jerry Brown of the state of California declared a drought in a state of emergency, I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago. It's February 17th today. Since then, several articles and news stories have come out on the radio and just everywhere, pretty much, because this seems to be one of the worst droughts in the last 500 years, or as the National Geographic website said, since record keeping on climate began in the mid-19th century. So, pretty serious deal here. In fact, one of the first articles I started seeing coming down the pike was about wineries up north that are not having enough water to plant new crops, and that existing crops are not going to have enough water to sustain them, and that these same crops are starting to bud a little bit earlier because of the unseasonably warm temperatures, while the rest of the nation has been drenched in freezing temperatures, ice, and snow, and freeways being shut down in Georgia and different places. California has had some summer-like temperatures. We've had some really warm weather. I was dressed for summertime today. It was not hot, but it was warm. It was nice, I mean. And over the weekend was very warm. It was like 89 where I live. But also, something that happened back in December of last year, 2013, was the citrus farmers suffered a $441 million loss in crops due to 7 days of freezing temperatures. This was back in December, and flip that to now, fast forward to now, and now we're experiencing, well, we've been experiencing a drought. I believe, from what I found, the drought began in December of 2012. Yes, hon?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You're going.
No, it's okay. My son, duty calls. Sure. Duty calls. We're in the hospital, if you can kind of see my surrounding here. But, yeah, so that began then, and I'm sure to add insult to injury, this drought here is not helping. Sorry that I disappeared from the screen here. Can you reach that? Okay. So this drought, I'm sure, is not helping matters. I'm sure it's not going to help the citrus industry any more than that 7 days of freezing temperatures did. And then also, that's not the only area that's being hit. There are other produce farms in the San Joaquin Valley and other parts of Central California that are being hit, by this drought as well. And the impacts of that would be like fruit sizes are going to be a lot smaller, and the quantities.
Duty calls.
Okay, so it's duty calls. The quantities are going to be a lot smaller, and that's going to lead to price increases to make up for lost revenues. And the rest of the nation has a stake in this, because a lot of the produce that goes to the rest of the nation comes from California. And there are other farms in other regions of the country, like the Midwest, but remember, they've been drought-stricken for some time now, for at least the last 2 to 3 years. They've been hit hard too. I was following Texas and some of the other Midwest states, and they have been hit hard also. So what are the long-term effects? Could this lead to famine? Possibly. I had a dream about long lines in the grocery store. The shelves were empty, or should I say, some shelves were empty, some shelves were just very bare, and the lines were long, and people had worried looks on their faces. They were a little bit panicked, and I remember trying to offer encouragement, and I told the people, don't worry, because God is in control. And I think that was the gist of that message of that dream, that God is in control. Looking over my notes here, people have been saying for a long time to get prepared, not just for earthquakes, but for food shortages and other things that are going to hit the country and the world. Not just the country, but the world. I remember seeing recently some headlines about flooding, if I'm not mistaken, in the French Riviera. That was pretty devastating. So there are things just literally going on all over the world that are just eye-openers to the times that we're living in. I found also an article today when I found that asteroid article, and I'm sorry I got that video up so late. I'm kind of behind. Looks like people have known about this for a few days at least, and I just found out. So if you missed it, I apologize. I missed it too. I couldn't get I kept trying to go to the website to watch it live, and it wouldn't work out right. So by the time I did get it on there, it was like 7 minutes after 6, and I missed the flyby. So all I saw was recorded footage of that. So anyhow, Thank you, sweetheart. Sorry, I'm a mommy. I'm recording, but I'm also a mom. Trying to help my son out here. But no, don't apologize, hon. Okay, it says that things are so desperate that the state of California is actually looking into desalination techniques. And there's an article here on NBC News on the homepage. It says, Parched California pours mega millions into desalination tech. And like I said, it could cause billions of dollars, and they want to take some of the seawater and convert it into drinking water. Because water from up north is going to be cut off through the aqueduct and other areas. It's going to be cut off to Southern California to try to preserve what's needed up there. I don't know if I read this part to you, but one of the articles that come across, some of the articles that came across a while back were saying that there are some communities that are within 100 days of running out of water.
Sorry.
It's okay. So this is kind of a desperate situation that we're in, and one guy on the one vineyard owner on the National Geographic website, he's an owner, third generation vineyard owner. He's 61 years of age, and he said he's never seen anything like this, that this is measurably large, what's going on here in California. And God forbid if we have fires, or the big one that's going to cut off water supply even more. And also, if there, like I said, if that causes fires, and then we can't even put the fires out. It's just the times that we're living in. What can you do? What are you going to do? I've been seeing signs all up and down the highways, those freeway signs that say California drought, conserve water. So, and I don't think they've made it mandatory yet. I heard that they were going to start asking people to ration, but I haven't seen yet that it's become mandatory. But just pray for us. Pray for the state. Pray for the nation. Pray for the world. That souls would just come to the Lord. And because we don't know when our last day is going to be. We don't know when the Lord's return is going to be. We don't know when an earthquake will come or trouble will strike and we breathe our last. We don't know, but you got to be ready. I've just had such an urgency to pray for the lost. And I'm going to cut this off because I need to tend to my son, but and maybe I'll record a little bit later when he's asleep. No, don't apologize, baby. But I probably will just record it later when he's sleeping, and we're already at 7 minutes here, so but yeah, just never know. We always think that we have all this time, and we make all these plans. Like me, I have so many dreams and aspirations, and like I want to move out of the state. I have just this, I'm like a child. I just dream some of the biggest things. I have this great imagination where the certain life that I want, in another place, another state, and I want to move so bad. I've been stuck here because of my son's health, and not that I didn't want to leave. And then my mom's health, I'm her caregiver, so I can't leave until I'm released to go. And I want to go so bad, which is, I think the scripture says, hope deferred maketh the heart sick. And my heart is sick a lot of times because I want to just get out of here. I want a fresh start in this new place. I see the name of it every single day. I see it on license plates when I'm not even looking. So I know what the Lord is saying. I just have to hold on. So I'm going to let my little guy say goodnight to you all.
Hi.
You going to say goodnight? And thank everybody for praying that's been praying for you.
I love you.
Aww. That's a little heart he has. He was singing praise and worship a little while ago. I was trying to record. I had to stop and start over because the nurses came in. But thank you for praying for him. Thank you for praying for us, my 2 daughters, and myself, and all of us. So and for the words of encouragement. You guys are amazing. I thank God for you. He said thank you for praying for him. And yes, we truly do thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And I shall return. Probably do a quick video about trying to get all this out. If you notice, I post my videos in clumps because that's the only time that I have. But my daughter, my 8-year-old, had a dream about the world. Well, something that happened, and I'll share that with you about an earthquake. But what did you want to share, huh?
It's going to be too embarrassing.
Too embarrassing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, don't share it then. Okay, kids can be so candid, a little bit too candid sometimes, so I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. But if he says it's going to be embarrassing, then we better cut it off here. So that's going to be a wrap. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye.